Hopefully that will be better now that we're a bit more organised. Right, so hello, welcome to the Tuesday evening exploration stream, where I am pretty much now good to go. It's been a long day. I was up till 4 o'clock in the morning recording video that I posted earlier of the white dwarf system, which we are going to be visiting today, called Monde De La Mort. I think it's Le Monde De La Mort, but it is basically the white dwarf system with a world on a very eccentric orbit that goes right up close to the white dwarf, and is a crazy sight to behold and an even crazier experience to survive. But survive I did, so that did happen yesterday, and yeah, we're going to go back there today so we can check it out, and who knows, maybe we will see something something extraordinary. So I'm just parked on the system next door, because I just basically fled once I got out of the planet. I just got out of the whole system and went, you know what, it's safer, you know, not being anywhere in the vicinity. So there's the star which I haven't scanned yet. Yeah, so we're in the system next door. I'm just going to pop back over there now, and we'll see what we can see. We'll have a look at it. It all depends on where the planet is, and you know, can we actually land on it at all? You know, because it's inaccessible for part of its orbit. So are you below the horizon? You are below the horizon, right.
Cannot comply. Frameshift drive charging.
So let's leave.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
So also, I did update the paint job. So I went back to the indigo one that I kind of did as a laugh, really. I am now called Indigo ND1GO. I have a nice shade of blue. I have the Pioneer crests on the front of the ship. These are now matching, I think, as well. Yeah, the little under spaceship things under the name are matching, because when I had the planet one, when it said Indigo, it was actually over those little panels on the front, and it looked kind of crappy. So if I have it like this, Indigo is actually above the panels there. So yeah, I decided, you know, I did my little trek up to the roof of the galaxy. So once I got back, time for another paint job. Right, so let's
Frameshift drive charging.
Let's get the show on the road, and you can see for yourself how awesome this system is.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Okay. Let's see what we got. That, right. Here we are. Should be a star there. Yep. Now, where is the planet? planet is at the far end of its orbit. There is the orbit. So that's what we're looking at. It's currently in the jet. I believe it's going through kind of towards the star. It might have come out of the might have sort of gone past the aphelion there. So I think the closest we can get to the star is 1.65 light seconds. That seems to be where the exclusion zone hits, or at least that's where it was last time. So can we see where that is going? It's coming towards us. Gonna kind of get down a bit here, try and get more level with the orbit. So when I actually, before we do that, when I arrived here, I can watch that. Oh, I am heating up. That's interesting. I was not heating up before. Let's get out of here. That's interesting. I was not heating up yesterday. So that's a new little hazard. Alright, let's have a look. Where are we? So, yeah, when I arrived yesterday, I managed to get onto the planet when it was about where my cursor, my crosshair target thing is. So about halfway out on that point, because it was kind of coming out of the exclusion zone and it was not yet in the jet. So I could sort of dash in there, land, and then dismiss the ship before it hit the jet. Because if you keep your ship on the planet, it will basically get destroyed by the jet. The interesting thing is the SRV does not get destroyed by the jet, so you can actually hang around and you don't feel anything. You can roam around on the planet's surface to your heart's content. But the trick now is I want to see which way this planet is going, because if it's coming, if it's kind of going along the top towards the dwarf, then we might have a chance of getting in before it crosses the exclusion zone. If it's coming out, then we'll have to wait until it's way past the jet here. It's going to take a bit of time. But I need to know which way it's going, because of course it depends on how you're oriented. If I'm above the orbit, it's going to be a different direction to, well, it's going to look like it's going in a different direction to if I'm going below, and I can't remember what orientation I was yesterday, so but yeah, you don't have to land while the planet is in the jet or anywhere near it. Like if you can get over here, I mean, look at how the jet's oriented there, right? It's quite far away from this line. If you can get there, you can be okay. So it's interesting that the heat was going up, because that did not happen yesterday. So can we tell which way you're going? Of course, I'm moving as well. Yeah, you can actually see it moving if you look at the where it intersects with the window frame, it's going that way. So it's coming out of the thing. So can we kind of meet it on the other side if I can get my orientation correct here? Because we're going to try and land on it. I just want to do it without dying. So yeah, you can see it's right in the jet there. So it's going to be a matter of being able to get to it once it's out of the jet, and inside the, or outside the exclusion zone. And because the jet is kind of oriented towards us here, by the looks of it, that might be a little risky. We'll see. I'm just going to have some coffee here. So the orbital period is 88 minutes. So if all goes well, we can land on it in about like 10 minutes. Swing around the dwarf and then hop off on the other side, like at this point, you know, the opposite point in the orbit. And we can do that in about 45 minutes. That's ridiculously quick, and of course it accelerates when it gets closer to the dwarf. Yeah, it does it quite spectacularly. So how's my heat? So how far is the star right now? It's 2.38. You should be moving outwards. And the thing you don't want to do, you really don't want to do, is try and land on it while it's in the jet, because I'm pretty sure when you drop into glide mode, you're basically out of supercruise, and if you're in the jet when you're out of supercruise, you're going to die. And you won't be able to dismiss your ship if you manage to make it to the surface, and so on. So we don't want to be in the jet. So we want to be where, when the planet gets to about there, that's where we want to kind of get on the bus. So I'm going to block the light there. Yeah, so that's what we want to be doing. And it gets, at closest approach, it gets 2.63 white dwarf radii. Like the white dwarf itself is about the size of the Earth. In fact, I think it is exactly the size of the Earth, pretty much. What was it? It was 6983, so it's a couple of 100 kilometers bigger than the Earth. Closest approach is 18,365.8 kilometers. So that is, no, that's from the center of the thing. So it's 2.63 white dwarf radii, but it's 1.63 radius from the surface, which is crazy. And it goes by really quick. So just gonna have to sit it out. Now the interesting thing is that the orbital period is 88 minutes. The rotation period is 176. It is exactly twice. So it's like half a rotation in one whole orbit, which makes it interesting trying to figure out where you want to land. And I still don't actually know where I want to land, because of course it depends on which, you know, how the thing is rotating. So I might want to just sort of try and plonk myself on the North Pole or something and hope I can see the star. I mean, I will be able to. But you know, if we can actually see the star getting closer and further away, that would be really cool. Because the yesterday when I was here, the star was below the horizon for most of it, so I didn't get to see much. Apart from when it rose for about literally 30 seconds, it rose and set, and that was at closest approach, and it was insane. The video is up on my YouTube channel. I thought I'd uploaded it this morning to Twitch, but I guess not. But I will upload it later on, because it's a sight to see. It's on the Elite Explorers Discord. It's on the forum thread that was for this system that Commander Leif Erikson discovered. So all credit to them, because it's a hell of a find. It is absolutely cooler than my Death Spiral system that I found. I mean, that one, the planet was insane. Had a 15-minute orbital period, but you couldn't land on it. You couldn't even get near it. This one conveniently has a ridiculous orbit that extends past the exclusion zone. So, you know, I was saying on the Discord yesterday, like, what are the chances of just the perfect thing of you have a white dwarf, you have a planet orbiting the white dwarf, the planet is landable, it's also on a really eccentric orbit, you know, that means you can hop on it, you know, ride in and then hop out, you know, it's like a, you know, what are the chances of that? It's minuscule. So we'll, you know, I was kind of joking that, you know, now what we need to do is find a neutron star like this, but, you know, I'm sure there's one out there somewhere, because that would be even more amazing. And it's weird because, you know, most of the time when we get things like this, you have, you know, it's the planet is orbiting like the barycenter of a system, and this is, you know, this is indeed a, I mean, it's a multiple system, but the planet is actually orbiting the white dwarf. It's not orbiting the, you know, the barycenter. So, you know, usually they're found 1,000 light seconds out from the white dwarf or the neutron star, but this is again a close binary star system. I mean, the other star is 32 light seconds away. So maybe there's something going on with that that makes this more feasible here. Now, I want to give that a little more time to come out of the jet, but we're getting there. We gotta keep track of the time now, because we'll be wanting to leave about 45 minutes after we arrive, if we land in one piece, which is a big if. I may die, I don't know, but I'm trying not to die. I haven't lost my ship, my ass yet in exploration. Let's have a looky. Can we zoom in? So yeah, that's kind of looking perilously close to the edge of the jet. It's trucking along. So yeah, we're basically in the queue for the bus, waiting for it to arrive, and then we'll hop on. Or we will at least attempt to hop on. Just gonna get a bit further out. The awesome thing as well about the being on the planet. Like I was, I basically got on about there yesterday, so I followed it all the way around. All the way around its orbit and then all the way over here, but the star was, everything was below the horizon where I was until pretty much the end. But the you could still kind of hear the wind, like the jet was sleeting past the planet at this point, coming around this arc. The planet was going through the jet, and you could hear the wind. It sounded like wind from the jets. It was very eerie. Very, very odd experience. I mean, completely unrealistic, of course, but what you really get is being hammered by high energy particles, probably, but which I suppose may pitter patter as it vaporizes your hull, but let's see how we're doing in terms of the jet. Still looks a bit close. Heat is going up as well, like that's really odd. Let's edge a bit closer. Might be okay. Getting perilously close to the star though. Let's gun it. Nope.
Warning, taking heat damage.
We cannot. Dang it. Misjudged it. So yeah, 1.65. I think maybe this side is probably not the best side to approach it at, because the jet's kind of pushing, it's kind of sweeping in this direction, and I think it may just block it off. It looks like we may be a little bit too close. Like the other side, the jet's kind of sweeping away, so I don't think we're going to be able to make it, unfortunately.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Okay, we'll take a little bit of heat. But we'll be okay. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, sadly, we will not be able to see it from the surface unless we wait. I don't think we're going to be able to make it in. I could give it another crack. If I keep an eye on the star more. .7, 3.4, right. Can I... Let's see, I'm coming too close. Too close to the jet there. So I wish I could get the orientation of this, like, it's really hard to tell. It doesn't look... Let's see if we can... creep past it here. 2.3. It's okay if we hit the jet out here, we're fine there, but we don't want to be in the jet when okay, 1.07. No, the maths isn't going to work here, is it? It's 1.98 with 1.0. Maybe it might. Let's just give it another shot.
Hull integrity compromised. Warning, temperature critical.
We are not going to be able to do that. Let's take a screeny. I don't think it's possible, unfortunately, not from this angle. We could though see, kind of watch it from the outside.
Frameshift drive charging.
That might be, I mean, it's not going to be terribly exciting, but
3, 2, 1, engage.
yeah, we'd have to basically wait half an hour. Basically have to wait half an hour, but like we can see the planet is sweeping around. That would be pretty wicked. Just can't do it from there. It's already quite close by the looks of it. Getting a bit extremely close. Where is this orbit? There it is. So, I mean, we could just sort of park here, because I'm pretty sure the jets don't move. We can keep an eye on the planet. As it swings around. We don't have to watch the whole thing, but it's definitely getting quicker though. So yeah, it'd be nice if there was kind of overlay. Like, I know there's that yellow circle in the orbit lines that I guess is the exclusion zone, but it's hard to kind of tell exactly where that is. I'm just going by the distance to the star, like I'm 0.2 light seconds outside of the exclusion zone here, but where that is like relative to the orbit, I don't know. Clearly further out than I thought it was. just sort of letting folks know. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how quickly it moves around. Watching it from outside. But you know, it's already accelerating, you can see it. You can see how it's going there. Yeah, I don't know if I was just lucky yesterday then, I don't know, but I seemed to pick the right moment. I thought I was in the equivalent kind of spot today, but maybe not. So I'm pretty sure we're not going to end up crashing into the planet, into the white dwarf there. Probably drop out. I should be okay here. I don't think the jets are going to suddenly swing around in my direction. We're not going to see the orbit, unfortunately. For some reason, I don't know why. But we can get a good view of what happens here. So yeah, keep an eye on it. Let's see where it goes. Oops. There we go. Because it's coming round already. Might go behind the star. That would be a bit annoying, but I'm pretty much on maximum zoom. Come on. There it goes through the jet. Coming out the other side. The hell, that was quick. So just tucked away behind the star there. Should come out in a few. But yeah, when I landed on it, it went through the jet above the horizon. That was terrifying. So it should poke out at some point, I hope. Oh, it already has. Bloody hell, it's at the bottom there. It's coming out at the bottom. I didn't even see that. So there you go, it's already on its way out. It's about sort of 7 o'clock. It's very dim. I completely lost it when it came through. So it's already out. That's ridiculous. Yeah, so that was it. That's literally how quick it is. And it's just getting more visible there. So there you go. So yeah, there you go. It's down there. That's pretty rad. So yeah. It could be nice to try and land on it, but you know, do we want to do that for the whole stream pretty much, or I mean, I've got the video up from yesterday where you can see what it looked like. So there it is. Let's now very carefully point in the opposite direction. And
Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage. 2, 1, engage.
move away from the star. There we go. So we are good. There you go, the planet's already on its way out. So yeah, that's the thing. I could kind of aim to park on it like here when it's on its way out, but then we'd have to wait for it to go through the jet, and then we have to go through the other side, and then we'll, you know, it's going to take another like hour roughly, and you know, that's probably not going to be terribly exciting. But there you go. I would encourage you to check out my video if you want to see what it's like on the surface. If you are anywhere near this neighborhood, I would encourage you to definitely visit this. This is about 600 light years from Colonia. It's really, you know, fairly easy to get to. I think it's about like 4 neutron star jumps, basically. So yeah. It's pretty accessible, and yeah, like, try and give it a go yourself. Like I said, you wanna try and catch the planet. I think the best thing is what I did yesterday, which is catching the planet as it's coming out from the star. So this kind of orientation, when it's outside the exclusion zone, but not hitting the jet yet, because you can see here, like, the jet sort of comes out here and then it sort of sweeps up this way, which is why we couldn't get on it before, really. You don't want to get on the planet around Aphelion, around, you know, out here. That's not really going to work. Yeah, so you don't want to get there at the Aphelion, because that's in the jet. You want to get there when it's like this sort of part of the orbit, midway between nearest and furthest approach. So yeah, I'll leave that one there. We can just sort of poodle around and explore the nearby systems, I suppose. But that is the Monde De La Mort system, as it has been christened. Definitely a very exciting system to take a look at. There's a bunch of other white dwarf systems around here that we can totally check out. So I might well do that while we're here, and then I think afterwards I'll head on back to Colonia, since it's not too far away. My previous plan was to do a kind of nebula exploration tour, like I was basically going to kind of head out this way and sort of try and see some of the more interesting nebulae, or ones that weren't actually on the galactic 3D galaxy map, because there's tons of nebulas around here. But you know, so I'll probably resume that after I just sort of get repaired and so on at Colonia. But in the meantime, oops.
Frameshift drive charging.
Let's go here. So I'll probably extract that video of the swing by, and
4, 3, 2,
or the perihelion, and we'll you know, I'll stick that online as well for, you know, scientific purposes. Yikes. That seems like a large one. See, that's what I normally would have thought we'd see. So that's interesting. Do some of these I mean, we can't get close to this one obviously, but do some of these white dwarfs have like prominences and flares and things? Because that would be a bit nuts. That'd be very, very cool if they did. Yeah, so this one sadly is not quite as interesting, and also I guess the companion's a bit far out as well, but we'll have a look. We'll keep investigating them. I mean, they are pretty cool systems. Yeah, even though they're not all obviously amazing, you know, crazy system configurations and so on, but they are pretty.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
And we certainly got the fuel to wander around this layer for a bit. Might see some other interesting ones though, like there might be ones with close companions, fast rotation periods, who knows. That's 737. These are 12,000. Could have a look, see if we can see the white dwarf. Turn off the orbit lines, we don't want those. So we can see the white dwarf from here, because that's actually within 1,000 light years. That's a bit unusual. So that double planet on the right isn't very far out. Let's just see what the star looks like from here. Yeah, it's tiny. But you know, we'll say hi to this icy body, even though it is unlandable. I wonder what, oh wow, we're quite far down, minus 1480. Kind of almost wondering, could it be worth not going back to Colonia and actually not going out to the nebulas, but just go straight down. That could be fun. I think that could be an interesting trek. Let's have a look. So pick some targets here. But let's go the economical route. So we should be just going to white dwarfs here.
Frameshift drive charging.
Although if there are wolf rates or carbon stars, we could pick some up. Yeah, let's just mosey on downwards and see what we can see.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
I mean, the hull's taken a bit of damage. I've got the AFMU though, so I can always fix things. Yeah, might as well go down and get a load more data. Another 60 odd million for my troubles. Yeah, see, some of these don't have the prominences and flares, but some do. It'd be a bit of a shame that the other one didn't, because that would have been just even more awesome. I'm also sure there's a button that just says go to next system, target net system, but I don't know what that button is.
Frameshift drive
Alright,
charging.
so let's do some more dwarfs. If we just keep hitting white dwarfs, then, you know, one would expect, hopefully, that we'll find something slightly interesting. Can you have an icy body? Yeah, you're an icy body. But how far away were you? See, that could be interesting. It's a little closer. It's not sort of really close, but it might have you might be able to actually see the white dwarf a bit more from there. But yeah, for that Monde De La Mort system, because you've got that relationship between the orbital period and the rotation period, it's really hard to actually figure out exactly where you want to be when you land, which is why I was saying that maybe getting on the North Pole or the South Pole might be a better idea, because you should be able to see the star from wherever you are there, you know, at any angle. So that is a landable moon. It's fairly close to the planet. Unfortunately, it's not in a really nice angle. Being that the planet is behind the moon. could swing by here and see what it's doing with the star. Yeah, it's not too good. Well, I want one within like 100 light seconds really, but that's possibly a little much to ask.
Frameshift drive charging.
So let us head on. Yeah, at some point I should do that long promised SRV tutorial thing. That I originally did a couple of weeks ago and messed up the video for. Let's see what we've got here. Ah, that's unusual. A whole load of landables, also a very active white dwarf. You can't sort of see that though, can you? Don't think you can. You can't see any kind of flares up there, can you? Really, I want to do this on like a metallic, metal-rich planet. That would be the best thing. Much like the one that orbits that other, you know, the Monde De La Mort white dwarf there. Like, these are all icy ones.
Frameshift drive charging.
I think there was a companion there, wasn't there? I think I kind of just blinked past one. Felt like there was a star somewhere on my right. No? Maybe not. I saw something flash past me as I came in. Well, oops, you might be a good landable planet though, even though you're very, very far away. Let's take a look at that one. Preferably without going through the jet. But yeah, let's see if that's got any decent meteorites and things on it. So yeah, that's a new plan. We'll head to the bottom of the galaxy this time because I've never been down there. While we're out here. So we kind of went out to Colonia, then went straight up, and then went straight back down, and then we're going straight back down and coming back up again. go. See if we can get this scanned. Of course we're overshooting. Why wouldn't we overshoot? Look, it is an icy body. Annoys me that it doesn't tell you what it is on the side there. Ah, it's high metal. Good. Right, what have we got there? Technetium! Okay, that's a suitably rare thing. Sulfur, carbon, chromium. Yeah, okay. Right, let's get on here then. I think it's a bit of a potato actually, isn't it? It's not a very big planet. Is it? Or is that just illusion? Could have been just illusion. No, it doesn't look too bad. There's a big crater over here.
Orbital flight engaged.
That's always a good spot. Good place to land. Unfortunately, I think the star's going to be below the rim. But we will see. So it's the planet of brown blandness, apparently. It doesn't really matter where we land. We are essentially in a big crater here. The gravity is decent. Get the landing gear out.
Landing gear deployed.
Should just be able to plunk it down. Shouldn't be too bumpy. Maybe it is a little. Let's come out around here. Nice. That might be a little slopey, but it's definitely lying. Sure, you can land here. Nah, just kidding. There you go. Bit of an angle, but there we are. So where are we? Is the sun up? I can't really tell because it could be any one of these little things. Get to a point where I can see it. Is it actually above me? Oh, it is up. The sun is up. It's up there. That's crazy. FFS. Just give me a spot to land. There we go. Yeah, so the sun is actually up. It's there. Not that I could tell. Alright. So, let's do that tutorial. There we are. So, first up, exit the ship. Next, zoom out of your scanner. So there's going to be a keyboard shortcut thing, control. Not keyboard shortcut, but a control option, a keybind for zooming in and out of the radar, which is, you see that little thing right at the bottom. Zooming in and out. Do that. Zoom out as far as you can go because you want to see what's out there. Yeah, I have drive assist off, I think. I've tried using drive assist on and I fly around all over the place, so I'm quite happy with it as it is, but whatever your preference is. I also turn the light off, so it goes either on, it starts off as on, it can go really on, like flashlights, headlights kind of thing, fog lights. Or just off, and since the sun is up, I'm going to go off. So what you want to do is, as soon as you come out of your ship, you're basically gonna kind of do a little circle around the ship, or just sort of spin in place and just see what you can see. So the first thing is how you use the wave scanner. So the wave scanner is a thing at the top that's kind of doing the arc over that way, and you know, that's basically sweeping. It's like a radar. The scanner at the bottom, like the circular thing, is just telling you what's in your immediate surroundings, and it's kind of a terrain map as well. But the wave scanner is what we're looking at here, to find meteorites and other goodies. So that big bright thing in the middle of the wave scanner, kind of 3/4 of the way up, is my ship. And you can see that because as I rotate around, see now it's kind of off to the side. It's going to disappear as I go past it. Now it's going to be over there. So yeah, that's my ship. And obviously, you know, this is it's sort of whatever it's doing. It's sending out a pulse or whatever it's doing, but something that's in the middle of the arc there is in front of you. And then, you know, left and right and so on. So you've got to keep track of where the pulse, the scan pulse is there as well, because if you're moving around, obviously that won't update until it kind of swings back around again. So it's kind of like a radar, but it's not in a lot of ways. It's basically telling you the distance to things as well as the nature of things. So what I'm looking at here at the moment is something on the bottom row. It's you know, it's something on the bottom row and it's something in front of me, but because it's sort of smeared out over an arc, like over pretty much the whole of the scanner, that means it's far away. So as we drive towards it, that is going to get more compressed, and it's going to be a stronger signal. It's going to be brighter, and the nature of that, what it actually is, you can kind of tell from what the lines are going across, like the structure of the signal. Now this one's a little ambiguous. I think it's a one row thing. Yeah, it's only on the bottom row, so that would make it a metallic meteorite because it's got two bright lines, one at the top and one at sort of, you know, a third of the way up. Those things, these you just have to kind of recognize as, you know, from experience. It could also be an outcrop if it thickens up, but I don't know. I think it's probably a metallic meteorite at the moment, but we'll see. So the structure of the wave scanner, I should mention, is I think of it as 4 rows. So the bottom, anything that appears on the bottom is going to be meteorites. Yeah, I mean, they call them meteorites. They're basically like boulders or things that you find on the surface. So this is like a metallic one. There's something... So there's something over here, which you can just about make out. Now that takes up the bottom 2 rows, and if it takes up the bottom 2 rows, that's an outcrop. So it's a specific kind of thing. Meteorites come in 3 flavors, I believe: metallic, mesosiderite, and excuse me, and bronzite chondrites. So that's the 3 meteorite types, and then outcrops come in normal outcrop and gold outcrop varieties. But the outcrops are in the bottom 2 rows. They're kind of thicker signals, and the meteorites are always in the bottommost row. And then the 3rd row up is usually things like crash sites or skimmers, or, you know, artificial things, crash nav beacons. Actually, no, the nav beacons are not. They're the 4th row up. But, you know, row 3 and 4 are artificial things. So row 3 you'd be likely to find crash sites that have barrels, canisters, whatever, scattered around them. You'd find skimmers there as well if you are in an area that has skimmers. And then the 4th row at the top is data points. So that would be the crash nav beacons. You might find crash kind of satellites that you can get firmware from, but they're basically things that you can scan for data. And if you're roving around in civilization, basically little settlements and things might have data points. They'll show up as the top row. So that's basically the breakdown. So if we head over here, so let's head towards this thing on the bottom here, and let's see if that is a metallic meteorite. So these sort of higher gravity worlds are quite good for driving on. You get good traction. You don't have to have, I mean, I've got maximum power in the engine, so you don't need that. That might be a little bit better on the lower gravity worlds if you reduce it a bit, because then you aren't going to kind of over engine, basically over rev the engine, and you're less likely to skid around. But these sort of mid to high gravity worlds, they'll have good traction, so you don't tend to skid so much. The thrusters are very useful, not quite so useful on these planets, these sort of 0.5G worlds, but on those tiny potato moons and things that are 0.7 or 0.07 gravities or something, thrusters will, you basically kind of launch yourself up off a little hill like that one in front of me, hit the thruster, and you'll fly, basically. You can fly over everything. Now, while I've been approaching, we've got 2 meteorites here. The one on the left is, I believe, a bronzite chondrite. The one on the right is, like the short one, is a metallic meteorite that we were following. So the metallics, which are very close here, pretty sure this is a metallic, let's have a look. But if that's a metallic, it's going to have rare elements in it, and when you get close enough they're going to appear on the scanner. Yeah, look at it, there it is. It's quite an obvious one. Oh, it's an outcrop. That's interesting. So yeah, this is why I wasn't sure, because it looked like it was a bit thicker than the usual thing. So the thing is that the metallic meteorites and the golden outcrops, of which this is an example, they both have that bright line at the top, and then the bottom, you know, a bright line kind of a third of the way up. So yeah, I mean, looking at it now, we've got another meteorite that showed up on the scanner in the same direction there. That is definitely a bottom row one. So looking at it now, it's pretty obvious that it is actually 2 high, or 2 rows high. So it's still an interesting one, because the gold outcrops and the metallic meteorites tend to have the rarer elements in them. The metallics definitely have rare ones. I think the outcrops are slightly less likely to have, or the golden outcrops are slightly less likely to have the rare ones, but they are kind of like the next one down. So to get to the stuff in the outcrop, you just shoot it, and there you go, you've got some golden bits coming out. So 4 bits, so you open the cargo scoop up, and you can also select them. So that one's nickel, that one's phosphorus, that one's iron, that one's nickel. So this one didn't have an awful lot of good stuff in it, but it's an outcrop. so it's not as likely to have the really good stuff as a metallic meteorite would. So so here, this one, that's definitely a bottom row one. If it's got a bright line along the top of the bottom row, that is a mesosiderite. And then this other one over here, that actually looks like a bronzite chondrite. I can't do this from my head. Yeah, that looks like a bronzite chondrite. Let's go and have a look at that one. So the bronzite chondrites are actually the worst of the lot, I think. I've never had much luck finding anything good out of those. They usually have the really common stuff. So if it shows up as being a high percentage on the mineral list on the system map, it's probably going to be in the bronzite chondrite. Yeah, I don't think this is an outcrop, but let's have a look. Should be just over the hill here. Oh, there we go, we just passed it. Where is it? I have to zoom in. Over here. There it is. Yeah, it's bronzite chondrite. So these are not very very good really for minerals. As we shall see, iron, so 2 irons here, and a nickel. That is almost not worth it. These are very common materials, so we can just leave those, to be honest. Let's go up for this mesosiderite up here. So I picked a really bumpy way to get to it, but I'm not taking an awful lot of damage. The shields on these SRVs do not protect you from physical kind of rolling down hills kind of damage, unfortunately. I think they might protect, they do protect you from lasers and things, but they're not much use against careening out of control down a slope. Blah. Or, you know, hitting big rocks that suddenly loom out of nowhere. Like, the thrusters can dampen your fall a little bit though, so they're worth using. Now, fuel on the SRV does get used up. It's that little bar on the right there. So you're going to want to keep an eye on that. You can refuel out in the field using synthesis, which is going over here, go to inventory, go to synthesis, and then you've got restock, which I've never used in my life. Repair, which will fix the hull. You can do that while you're going head over heels down a slope, so keep that in mind, because I've done that. And you've got the refuel here, which you just need sulfur and phosphorus for, which is really, really easy to find usually. I've never bothered with these. I just use the basic one, but if your fuel reserves get low, it'll tell you when you hit like 50% and 25%. Just keep an eye on that fuel, that line underneath the fuel, and that will tell you when you need to fuel up, basically. So So I'm going for mesosiderite here. Somewhere here. Yep, there it is. Mesosiderite. These kind of in the middle. They don't have the dirt common ones like outcrops and bronzites, but they might have some rarer minerals. So yeah, we've got niobium, which is a kind of second level kind of thing. We've got germanium. Carbon is very common. Phosphorus is very common. Could do with some of that. And zinc and phosphorus again. So yeah, I'm hoping I can find a metallic meteorite somewhere. It's not looking terribly likely. Sometimes you just have to keep driving, basically, until you find one. I'm not entirely sure. Oops, here we go. Another mesosiderite. I'm not entirely sure what determines how common the different meteorite types are. I think metallic meteorites you tend to find inside craters, perhaps. They seem to be a little more common there. That tin, that's a rare one. So I mean, I collect it, but I don't actually think I have anything that uses tin. Because really I'm just interested in FSD boosts. So yeah, you'll also notice that when you get a certain distance from your ship, it just disappears off the scanner. Do not be alarmed by that. It basically just takes off on its own if you get within, beyond a certain distance of it. Usually you're going to be safe doing that. If it's a high gravity world, or if it's a world where you have like weird things like the jets, goes through a jet or something like that, then you've got to be a bit more careful about doing that, because you may damage your ship. I think on one world I landed on that was high gravity earlier on, kind of when I started streaming. It was a 3.2 gravity world. The ship tried taking off from it and it got kind of stuck leaving, and it was taking like heat damage and so on. And the only way I could stop it was to actually kind of log out, and then it kind of reset itself, and I was okay. But yeah, you gotta watch some of these situations where you get rid of the ship, because you might actually do some damage to it. So right now I am just wandering around aimlessly. There is a meteorite over here, or an outcrop. Basically, when you're done driving around, what you can do is find an area of reasonably flat ground, so you can summon the ship. Crunch. If you end up on your roof like that, you can rotate. You can do the whatever that orientation is, left, right, on the joystick. That will kind of rock you back up on your wheels. Oh bugger it. I'm going to recall the ship now. So we'll we'll see where the ship ends up. The reason I keep shooting, by the way, is that the camera button for this is slightly different than the camera button for my ship. And I keep accidentally shooting it when I want to switch the camera. So here's shippy. You can actually see the ship on your scanner as well. It's coming over here. There we are. Coming down for a landing. And I can go third person and drive in that direction. Pew pew. It's a bit of an odd way to do it, but why not? Ooh, that's a crappy valley. Perfectly wedging my SRV in it. There's, oops, enough with the faffing there. So yeah, hopefully that was a reasonable intro to how to use the SRV to find meteorites. So there we go. We just go back aboard the ship. So when you get back on the ship, you do not refuel. You do repair, though. So that's a thing to keep in mind. So, having landed, let's just keep going on. Take off again. Yeah, that was odd. Because when I saw a little flash, we got POI below us as well. So even out here, you will find relics of human civilization. I actually found a crashed nav beacon on the surface of the White Dwarf. Monde De La Mort planet. So somehow somebody had got there. Right, I got another 20 odd minutes. So at least we had a look at the Monde De La Mort anyway. Nice to see that again. Let's just keep going.
Frameshift drive charging.
So yet another White Dwarf system. too spectacular here. More ice balls. Lots and lots of ice balls. Great, and it's right through the shaft. Let's not go there.
Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage.
And yeah, I sort of remembered the big news of the day, elite-wise, was the announcement that 2.4 is going to be Thargoids, because yes, those unknown ships actually are Thargoids, as everybody suspected. So that'll be fun. Except for everyone who isn't in the bubble or near the Pleiades, unless there's, you know, who knows? I mean, you know, we've explored. Why haven't the Thargoids? They might be out here too somewhere. Maybe they are keeping an eye on Colonia. Who knows? So we might see them. That would be a bit interesting. But yeah, I'm not sure what's actually in, what else is going to be in 2.4, but there are more than one Thargoid, and they are going to be interacting with the players, I think, so
Frameshift drive charging.
should be exciting. Lots of cool videos of things. Maybe we will see a Thargoid capital ship that has been rumoured to exist.
Ready to engage. 3, 2, 1, engage.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting times there. But yeah, hopefully they'll throw explorers a bone and give us something to do that's relevant, like, you know, look for the Thargoid homeworld or whatever. That would be pretty cool. Nothing fantastically interesting there then. So this is where we were headed. So let's just keep going down. How are the stars down here? Interesting. Getting a bit sparser. I know how to get the selecting thing up. 100. Except you're going by a bunch of those stars. As I would like to see if I can do it just with white dwarfs. Yep, I can. And neutrons. Yep, totally doable. Let's also have a look at the realistic map though. Of course this will be, no, they're definitely getting sparser out here. But let's see. there is a giant. There's an M2 giant. It is on the way from here, but that's way down there. So kind of want one a little closer to home. There's a couple there. So we've got that one. It's a busy system. Come on. And we got that one, which is a solo. Let's head over here. Let's go visit the giant. Let's just go straight there rather than faffing around. Change plan. Because this looks like a busy system. Big giant. Looks like it's only got other stars in it, unfortunately. They are very far away. I was hoping that would be a little bit more interesting, but maybe not. Yeah, they're a bit too far out. So where's that other giant? Go to that one. That's just on its own though, isn't it? It is a red giant. B. Sometimes you can see the B ones. They're a bit less easy to pick out. Let's just go to that other one.
Frameshift drive charging.
Less interesting. You will have planets. Reasonably nearby ones. Get you scanning. So you're 200 away. We got this. Planets here, a bit far away. We can at least have a look at that one. I actually land on it and kind of call the stream there because I am pretty exhausted. probably not the best idea to stay up till 4 in the morning recording. Well, I wasn't actually recording, I was editing the video, so I wanted to get it out sooner. And of course I had to wait for it to render out and save and upload and all that. So the time I did that was 4 in the morning, so that wasn't very optimal really. Let's see what the view is like here and land then. Well, that's very sufficient. I'll take that. I would also like the dark side brightening not to be there. So, did we get a scan of this one? We did. Antimony, no volcanism or anything. Kind of like the look of those red canyons over there. Let's go see what they're about. Even though there's no volcanism. They're not really canyons, they're like rills or something. But it looks kind of cool. So this is a slightly higher gravity world, so we're going to watch it. It would be quite a nice view from the top of that little mound, I believe.
Landing gear deployed.
Up. Okay. I think we're okay there. Don't know if I actually got to the mound there. Or is that the rim? That'll do. Kind of multi-coloured terrain happening. There we go. That's very nice. Ideally, I would like to get the multicolored terrain in. If I do that, I don't want to distort the star too much. So I want to kind of have that in the middle. But that works. Can I do that a little bit? Zoom out a bit. Just a bit. greeny there. Right, I think I'm going to finish the stream a few minutes early, just because I am dead pooped. So thanks for joining me for that. Got some nice footage of the Monde De La Mort system. So yeah, it's been pretty busy video-wise this week. We finished Paradigm on Saturday. I did some different things on Saturday and Sunday. I did the 3 Lego building streams. So I got the Lego Saturn V, and it was absolutely ridiculously huge. It was about 1 meter long. It took about 9 hours to build it, but that was pretty fun. And then yesterday did the Monde De La Mort system video where I actually landed on the planet and swung around the dwarf, which was good. And then today we got this. So it's been a busy past few days, really. Saturday will be other games, and I think I'm gonna do a game called Canarium or Conarium or something. It's just come out, and it's an H.P. Lovecraft Mountains of Madness inspired game. The sort of first person wandering around somewhere in Antarctica, I think. Judging by the trailer, there are definitely elder things involved, so that's going to be pretty cool. So that could be interesting. I've not really done a scary game or horror game on stream. I'm hoping it's not going to have too many jump scares, but we'll see. But H.P. Lovecraft, Mountains of Madness, can't really go wrong with that, I hope. I am a big Lovecraft fan. So if you're into that kind of thing, do check that out. It'll be 10 till... I don't know how long it is, but you know, we'll go until 12 and see what happens after that. I might carry it on then, I don't know. So that is it, I think. I'll leave it at that. So we'll carry on next Tuesday, heading to the bottom of the galaxy. As usual, keep an eye on my Twitter for updates, which again is below the video here. And keep an eye on my YouTube channel as well. Check out the previous Monde De La Mort system video there, if you want to see what it's like from the ground. It is down there. And do like and subscribe as usual if you like what you see and want to see more of it. Yeah, and the Saturn V videos are also on there as well. They're on Twitch as well in the upload section, so you can watch the build of that if you want to. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you on Saturday and or Tuesday. Okay, cheers then, bye bye.